welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We've got a new toy to play with today. You guys should be able to see that. 4-inch converting angle grinder to a circular saw. Let's check this out. Bring you in. Okay, here you go. This is the box. There's no instructions. This is mine. These are the new pieces. No instructions. It's fairly easy. It's going to attach to the grinder. And this is tool removed. Everything is off here. We will need to put the saw blade on, I do believe, in order to actually get it to work. I don't use the factory one of these because they're complete garbage. If I'm wrong, then we'll have to put this right back on. Off camera, we're going back and forth a few times with this because there's no instructions to see which is the correct way to put this and to put this in. And this is going to go around the outside of this arbor. This way here. Not like this, but into here on that. And this can't really go much farther, but we've got to get the screw. There's a black, not a black screw. Yes, there's a black screw and a black washer. And this is going to go into here. And this is just plastic, but I believe we can go like this. And I believe we can put the blade in. If you haven't used a grinder before, this locks the spindle, which allows you to get the tool on it to tighten it, but never over tighten this. Looks like we're here so far. And this is next, your plate. And this is going to mount into here or here. And there's a screw on the back side. So this will go here and right here. And one of these, you got this. One of these will go into here. The table's a little wet because rain. And then we need a larger, maybe this, I believe, will come into here. Let's try, there's a lock washer. Maybe that's for this. Maybe not. I'm going to need to get some wrenches and tighten all this up afterwards before actually using. But this is tighten this down so we're not moving as much. Okay, tighten this. And the next step is our angle. So that will be short one of these. And suppose you could put this either way. If we put this, I don't know. Let's just leave it that way. This. So does it show your degree? Your degree marks are here. And setting this to 0 should be about right here. Okay, there's that. The tool that came with it. This is our stop. This goes into here, and there's a little tiny screw. That'll lock this into place. The next is right here, which, see right there, that is another, this is threaded. So this goes into here. And this is your depth setting, but it's really rickety. You need to lock this in. Lock this in at 0. This is locked in. It's still, I don't know how square that feels, but that's your depth gauge. That sets your depth. But I mean, you can look at this, and this is not construction grade, shall we say? But this adjustment, this is your adjustment for the depth of the blade. This, right here, your blade's gonna get shallower or deeper. Should, anyways. Loosen this actually. But what's actually happening is this nut here. This is spinning. This. So tightening everything up. Then we'll loosen this and set our depth. Put this here. We'll just say, put it right there. Okay. But this whole metal plate attaches to this, which is plastic. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. You're not going to get precision. I don't feel you're going to get precision cutting out of this. It goes right here. Okay, and this is threaded. It looked like there was a nut missing, but it's not. That's just threaded. So this is your contraption. Let's go find a piece of wood. Okay, let's try a free cut, and then we'll try using this after. But I think we can see this on the camera. Maybe. We'll make a couple cuts. Okay, that was interesting because that one just pulled us along through the wood and it pulled us too fast, and we actually had to do a second cut on that. And we can also set that depth a little deeper. Won't hurt anything, but it felt like it just pulled along the wood, like it's trying to rip through it faster than anything else. Okay, so there we have this, and let's see what we can set up next. Okay, don't mind that duck. This, we've got our fence set in, and we're gonna rip across. Okay, we're gonna turn that off. And what we actually have here is where, I don't see the scrap piece I cut, but okay, look into here. And this is actually going above the rip fence. The wood goes down into it, so if this does not work, or like this is like a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood, something like that, the rip fence is wrong. It doesn't work for that. So this is only going to work on 3/4 or a larger piece of wood. So let me go find another piece of wood. Okay, I couldn't find a scrap piece of 3/4 plywood, but I've got this piece of wood, and this should be able to see here. That should hit the fence just right. So this is all the way down. If you look here, the adjustment goes lower, but it's hitting the frame, so that's as far down as that goes. So whatever your depth is here, has maybe an inch. This may only work with 3/4 inch plywood, and that's it. Let's try this piece of wood since we have it here. Watch closely how this blade actually yanks the tool forward.
Oh, the blind is cold. The cold is that.
I have to actually fight the tool with my hand to slow it down so that it will cut and not just try to rip forward. Second cut's not too bad as long as this thing doesn't rip out of your hands and cut your face off. If this was attached and you were holding 2 hands and pushing through, you might not get that kickback as much, but trying to do this with one hand like you would a circular saw, like cutting with a regular circular saw, this is a pinch. So you got to real slow and fight this. We're going to try one more. The goal is to not kick back. Kind of feels not very safe to me. So let's take this out. To store this, you can either turn it upside down or put it back in the box. And now back to the 1/2 inch, just going to try, like if we marked a line, just try to cut like that, a free form cut. So let's talk about it. Here she is. Let's talk about a few things. First off, in a pinch, it'll work. This, you see that saw blade? That saw blade right there is for cutting wood. You can also get your grinding. You got ones for cutting glass, tile. Very versatile tool. It has this play in it. You can look right here, you see. Has that play in it. and that's because the whole housing is just this piece of plastic. There's no safety cover for the blades. There's no safety cover. Your on and off switch for the grinder is right here at the end. There's no handle switch for the regular circular saw. If it gets away from you, something happens, you let go, it turns off. This does not turn off. It's going to zoom, 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 zoom. Cutting with this, the teeth getting into the wood, and it wants to pull it. And if it pulls it and it gets away from you, if you're not paying attention, if you're not careful, if it gets away from you, it's not going to shut off. It's just going to keep going, and that could be dangerous. A backup tool, yes, you use this for setting up to cut tiles and things like that. Yeah, use it for this setup right here we used in this video testing. It's probably not super safe, probably don't recommend it. Will I use it in a pinch? In a pinch, yeah, but I have a circular saw, so hopefully it'll keep working. I forget what the cost is on that, and I'll see if I can find it on Amazon and wherever. Put some screenshots of that up. In America on Amazon, this will set you back about $25, so about 5 times as much as it costs here. But I don't recommend it with this blade. I don't recommend that, but it's not the best. This is the gap in here when it's placed in the gap here. Anything less than half an inch doesn't hit. It just slides right in between. So that's a drawback. You know, 4 or 5 out of 10 maybe, but worth checking it out. All right, like, subscribe, share, and those fun things. And I will see you guys in the next video down the road or somewhere.